Good evening, YouTube. This evening, I'd like to put the Edelbrock cam in. This is the third cam that we've gotten. The problems are up there. And the instructions for installing this cam is very different from what I'm used to. And I'll read you the sentences. Coat cam lobes with fresh, clean oil. Lubricate distributor drive of the cam with assembly lube supplied. So what they're saying is they want me to oil up the cam and put assembly lube on the distributor drive, which we can do. But they didn't say what to do with the bearings. Now, there's several surfaces on a cam. And I have already cleaned this cam. There's bearings, there's a distributor drive, and then there's the lobes of the cam. This thing has been oiled up, and I'm going to oil it up again. I'm not going to do the assembly lube on the distributor drive just yet, because we have to do at least 2 more operations in that we have to set the positive cam stop, which is going to mean taking the timing gear on and off, and we've got to set the timing. So let's just get it into the motor. Let's put some oil on it and slide it into the motor. Okay. Okay, we got it nice and oiled up. Now they make a special tool that I guess you can buy, but a threaded rod works just as well. And what it does is it allows you to support the cam in the motor. And the reason you want to do that is so you don't nick any of the journals. So let's put it into the motor. Nice and easy. We don't want to nick any of these lobes. And this is not the last time we're going to be, this may be the last time we put it in, but we're not ready to assemble the motor. So, and I got to put assembly lube on that distributor drive. So this is where this really comes in handy, because otherwise you're dealing with a very short end piece of metal and you can't maneuver it. Come on, baby. There we go. One cam installed. Next is timing gears. A little dot right there, and there's going to be another dot on the big gear here, and you line the two up, and you're either at top dead center or you're 180 degrees out. You can tell if you're 180 degrees out by doing compression, but you got to have valve push rods and a valve train in there to do that. Let me show you timing marks. Okay, what we have here is the front and the lower crank and the cam, and on the cam is a dot, and on the crank is a dot, and what we want is those lined up. I think I've got it. So on to the next step. What we have here is a nylon cam stop button, and that button rides inside this cam cover. And what we have to do is trim this button down so that this will bolt down flat, which it won't now, it's sticking out. These are made to be trimmed. So we got to file this down to the point where we got 5 to 10 thousandths of end play here. And we got quite a bit to take off. I'd say there's maybe a 1/4 inch that we got to take off. But we're not going to do that. We're going to take a little bit at a time. So let's take this back off. This is getting close now. There's still rocks on it. So what we got to do is put the gasket underneath it and see where we're at. And I won't be able to do any more cutting on this until I get what we have here is a dial indicator set up so that the plunger is sitting on the back side of the timing chain sprocket for the camshaft. And that's how we're going to measure backlash. And right now we have 0 backlash. So we got to take the cover back off and we have to file down that nylon stop a little more. See, and here's the plunger for the dial indicator. So they wanted 5 to 10 thousandths end play in this cam. And when I move the cam back and forth, you'll actually hear it hit the timing cover. What you're looking at is a dial indicator that has its indicator on the back side of the timing chain sprocket for the cam. And what the specs say is they want 5 to 10 thousandths. And I very carefully filed this, and it's reading 10 thousandths right now. But as soon as I tighten the cover down fully and put the positive cam stop on, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, then it's going to be right in the range we want it to be. So right now it's at 0. And you just heard the stop hit the cam. You just heard the dial indicator stop hit the timing chain cover, and what's it read? So we're right there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this dial indicator back out of here, and we're going to put the water pump on. And the water pump has on it what we've been talking about, this positive cam stop, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. So now we got to get ready to do this for real. There's 3 different surfaces on a cam. There's the bearings, the cam lobes, and the distributor gear drive. Now what the Edelbrock instructions say to do is to use clean oil on the cam lobes and assembly lube on the gear drive. They don't tell you what to do with the bearings, so I called them up. And they said oil. They said put oil on all of it but the gear drive. And they said if I really, really wanted to, I could put a very thin coat of assembly lube on the bearing surfaces, but not to overdo it. And I guess it's all in an effort to keep the hydraulic rollers from sliding on the surface of the cam lobe. So let's oil this up one last time and put some assembly lube on the gear drive, and I think I'm going to go with the recommendation and not put any gear assembly lube on the bearings. So I'd say everything is well oiled. So let's put some assembly lube on the gear drive. Oop. Okay, so let's start the cam in. Oh, well, we'll start the cam in and then I'll put the rod on it. Time to install the front seal. And I like to put a little bit of sealant around the outside of the seal, between the seal case and the seal itself. Not a lot. Maybe more as a lubricant than anything else, maybe. But it also makes me feel good. Can't get anything on the seal itself though. Now I'm going to wipe off as much as I can. There we go. There we go. You can hear it. Let's put the timing chain and gear on for the last time. I've had the chain soaking in oil here, so this is going to be a little messy. I do have a drip pan underneath here, but I kind of wanted to make sure this was coated in oil. There we go. Let me show you one more time. So here's the front of the engine. And there's the timing marks perfectly lined up. Documented, they're perfectly lined up. We have to install the cam bolts. They get torqued to 25 foot-pounds with Loctite. And we have a newly adjusted Nylon Cam Button that allows the cam to have 0.08 of an inch end play. Well, we're making progress. We're going to put these cam bolts in. A little Loctite. 25 foot-pounds. It's 25. It's 25. And that's 25. The chain is installed. Now the cover. Bye-bye, timing chain. Hopefully for a long time. I'll let that sit for about an hour and I'll come back and I'll retighten that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've painted myself into a corner again. I was expecting the oil pan gasket to be included in the gasket set that Edelbrock sent, but it's really for a top end kit, so why would they put an oil pan gasket in a top end kit? It's really my mistake. So I spent a couple hours running around. I went to AutoZone, Advanced Auto, and Napa. None of them had it. So I'm going to have to order an oil pan gasket. So progress on this end has stopped. I'd like to put the harmonic balancer on the front, but the new one, the mark doesn't line up with the marks timing marks on the timing cover, but the old stock one does. So the timing mark on the stock one works, but the timing mark on the new harmonic balancer does not line up. So I don't know, maybe I got to get a new pointer, who knows. But that's it for now. There'll be more.